Like other communities in America, the town of Wellesley, Massachusetts, 14 miles west of Boston, was overjoyed with the end of the Great War, later known as World War I. There was a collective sigh of relief when the armistice of November 11, 1918, held. Wellesley had suffered shortages of coal and foodstuffs like elsewhere in America. The town participated in Liberty Loan drives and bought war-saving certificate stamps to support the war effort. Its greatest sacrifice, however, was the many young men and women sent off to battle or to support the war effort abroad. Out of a small population of slightly over 6,000, 335 answered the call, but 6 never returned. When the war was over, plans began immediately to celebrate the return of those who had served, and to honor those who had been lost. The large bronze plaques listing their names were mounted on either side of the stage in the Great Hall of the 1885 Wellesley Town Hall, making a permanent honor roll. There they would be remembered in perpetuity. At a special town meeting on January 6, 1919, funds were appropriated to create a town memorial forest in honor of the town's role of honor in the recent World War. A section of today's Fullerbrook Path was set aside for the forest because it was near the geographic center of the town. It was voted to procure and plant trees as a memorial to the men of Wellesley in the service, and to set aside English elms for those who died. Plans were drawn up by Wellesley resident Arthur H. Alexander, a landscape architect, who himself was wounded while in the flying service of France. They included a memorial grove around a skating pond, available for adult skating in the winter and model boat sailing in the summer. On Saturday afternoon, May 3, 1919, Wellesley held the dedication of Memorial Grove. The highlight was the planting of over 325 trees of various species, planted under the auspices of the Wellesley Park Commissioners. A parade of soldiers and a detachment of the Home Guard, headed by a band, marched from Wellesley Square to Memorial Grove. There, each veteran planted his own selected tree. A special tree was planted by those men who had been overseas for those 6 veterans who didn't return. Texas Burton, James Glencross, James Hickey, Franklin Ingraham, Raymond Moore, and Patrick O'Donoghue. Over each tree, the Home Guard fired a volley in their honor. The exercise closed with the playing of the national anthem. The May 9, 1919 townsman reported that an effective memorial to the men who served in the Great War has been successfully created, with the interest and personal labor of the townspeople of the present. The plantings were carried out with care, but the desired permanent identification of Memorial Grove and each deceased veteran was never finished. A second town-wide event honoring Wellesley's returning veterans of the Great War took place 3 weeks later on Saturday, May 24, 1919. It was referred to as Wellesley's Greatest Day and took place on Honeywell Field, adjoining Memorial Grove. According to the townsman, over 4,000 residents out of a population of over 6,000 gathered that afternoon to welcome its veterans. These included 1,500 students and faculty from Wellesley College and Dana Hall, Civil War veterans, and school children. The Wellesley College students left the campus and marched by class down Washington Street through Wellesley Square. When they passed the town hall, they were joined by the selectmen, servicemen, visiting officers, the Wellesley Soldiers Club, parents, and clergymen. Among the speakers was President Ellen Pendleton of Wellesley College, who read a poem, Welcome, written for the occasion by Catherine Lee Bates, Wellesley's hometown poet who had written America the Beautiful. She directed it to the returning Wellesley veterans as a real community welcome.
In these blossoming springtide days, never before so sweet, many a little town stands all on tiptoe to greet one dear ship of the fleet, one dear troop of the host, home from a war-worn coast. Ours it is now to raise banners and sing acclaim to our own returning bands. our boys whose every name burns a radiant flame on the hearth of our village pride. White flames for those who died. Great America, bold pilgrim of freedom first, champion of freedom now, honors the children nursed on her heart, the sons who durst carry her flag afar, till the mad guns ceased to jar. Long shall the tale be told, over the seas that chant of our laughing sailors, how you came in your jubilant courage of youth to plant hope in a trampled mead. History writes your deed. Ah, but your own little town, where fathers and mothers have fought all your battles with you, where we lifted our life and thought to be worthy your victory wrought out of a world's dismay, your home bids you welcome today. Oaks that you climbed bow low to your steadfast strength, their leaves flushed to May's rosiest hue. Never a tree but weaves garlands for faith that achieves, while, gladder than branches above, we laurel our lads with love.
Today, Memorial Grove is located on Wellesley's Crosstown Trail, which begins at the Fullbrook Path, where it crosses Fullbrook at State Street. Parking for the entrance is available off of State Street. The skating pond, known today as the State Street Pond, was dredged in the summer of 2015 as part of the Fullbrook Path project. After you cross the bridge into Memorial Grove, there is a small stone bench overlooking the pond. You see ahead a few trees left from the original planting. Gone are the English elms honoring the deceased veterans. Today, a new plan includes 6 redbud trees planted as a grove within a grove with no visual barriers for those who died, and a granite bench overlooking the State Street Pond, offering a quiet place to reflect. And an historic interpretive plaque giving the story of Memorial Grove, welcoming all visitors. All was forgotten until the centennial of the Great War. Now Memorial Grove has recognition for all to see.